Good morning, friends. I'm going to give you a moment to grab your coffee. Good morning. Here we are, Saturday, and I'm actually on time, so there's a first for you. As you join the coffee, please say hi in the comments. And we will have a fun coffee chat together. Good morning, Kathy Downey Lee. Good morning, Krista. Good morning, Meladine. Oh, anybody else? There's just a few of those little fruit flies. I hate those things. It make me crazy. Good morning, Tara. I need to connect with you. It's a good reminder. I'm going to write this down right over here because sometimes I think of things during live. And then once it ends, it is gone. I'm going to give 30 more seconds and then we'll connect this morning. Grab your cup of coffee. Let's settle in on this Saturday morning. Yeah. What's on your mind today? How's it going? How's your Saturday thus far? What are you up to this weekend? I know we've had a bit of conversation on Facebook yesterday and today about things people are planned and doing and things that are happening for people over the weekend. Lots of you have shared shows you're watching. We talked about that yesterday, things you're binging, things you're watching, things you're headed out to do, things you're reading. I think we're all just getting a little bit bored. I don't think I'm alone when I say that. Would you agree? Things are good, right? Like things are good and you can manage and you can figure it out. And we've pivoted and we've figured out ways to spend our time. And some of it has been really, really awesome. But I don't know about you, but maybe it's because I'm somebody who always had such a busy schedule with events that there was just new things happening all the time and new people to see. And there was kind of this just flow of life. And not that I want to say it's stagnant because I don't feel it's stagnant. Like I'm not in a negative place on it. It's just like a little bit boring. Like I'm just kind of like the novelty of the slowness wore off. Maybe. That's kind of how I feel. What do you think? Would you agree with that? Would you disagree? Am I just in a weird headspace? I don't know. I'm just like, I'm tired of being bored. Krista says she's doing a big house purge. Okay, see, these are the things that I should be doing. That would be one, I would have something to do. And two, it's desperately needed. She binge watched all of Cobra Kai. My son is binge watching that. He likes it. Mike's taking a run to the dump. That's something. They must have done a little house purging there. Tara's had a socially distanced winter picnic and walk with a friend. So that's awesome, right? And in Alberta, we know some of those restrictions are sort of shifting and changing into next week. So that lifts a little bit of the veil. And I get it. There's so many great other things that are coming up, which I love. I think today I'm in a space of mourning for the events of our world. That's how I'm kind of feeling. And I think grief is a really good comparison for us to describe some of the things. And I've seen that a lot. I've seen different psychologists and different reports and different stories and different conversations around comparing what we've gone through grief and all the stages of grief. And so I don't know what they are. I couldn't quote them for you. But today I'm just feeling mourning for events. And at the same time, I think this is what the funny thing about this is. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm off base. But what the funny thing is about it is while we mourn the loss of whatever we would normally be doing on these days, I also enjoy the fact that I slept in. I got up at my own pace. I have things to do today and things to accomplish, but I have no timelined agenda. So it's this interesting, I don't know if you would call it a flux in and out, an interesting flux in and out of craving structure and appreciating the lack of it. And I've always kind of liked to walk down the line of the middle of it where some structure has been beneficial, but some spontaneity is also fantastic. I think it's flip-flop day because I think I could argue the points for and against everything I would say today. I don't know. Amen to sleep in. Yeah, like that feels, I don't know. It was always right? Didn't they at one point have like a Lotto 649 ad where when you won the lottery, you could break your alarm clock and you wouldn't have to live that life of being on a timeline anymore, right? That was one of the benefits and the perks to winning the lottery. So in an essence, we got to know what that feels like. We don't have the $50 million, but maybe you bought a lotto ticket yesterday. Maybe that works. I don't know. Kathy says she's slowly purging her home. I would agree with you, Kathy. I'm on your pace on that one. I've got piles of stuff. Some of it needs to go somewhere. Some of I need to figure out what I'm doing with it. It's decision time. But there's been a slow purge happening. I would agree with that. Tara shares it's tough to stay motivated. Amen, sister. Especially when you can get sucked into the vortex of a show on Amazon or Netflix or Crave or whatever that might look like for you. And those vortexes are strong. So very strong. But yeah, I don't know. That was on my mind on this Saturday morning. I laid in bed for a long time playing a game on my phone. Now, here's something I would never normally do. I've always had like a couple of different puzzles or something on the phone, but I've never had time to just dive into a game on my phone. That would not be a regular go-to scenario for me. That's what I did this morning. And I was like almost going to be late for coffee chat because of it. How's that for a deep Saturday confession? I don't know. Yeah, but it was fun. Whatever. Then I'm like, I'll have to delete it off my phone or I'll want to play it all the time. And it's not even really that titillating of a game, but whatever. It is what it is. What about you? What are you feeling today? Let's do a little bit of a check-in. What's on your mind? What are you feeling? What's rolling around in your brain? What do you feel deep down in your guts? Where are you sitting on so many things that have happened over the last week and a bit? How does that feel for you? Feel free to share in the comments. Good morning, Mary. 52 Weeks of Kindness Challenge has been happening since the beginning of the year. This, I feel, a relatively simple challenge for anybody to jump in on at any time. I've shared the 52 Weeks of Kindness group page on my socials, but feel free to search it out. It is a Facebook group for those of you who watch on other platforms. So if you don't have Facebook, I apologize, but this is a Facebook group challenge. And basically what it is I'm challenging people to do one act of kindness a week, and it can be towards yourself, towards your family, or towards other people out in the community. One a week. That's it for the entire year. So that's 52 weeks. So you have to do 52 nice things in 2020. So again, You can join that group and share in there. You could follow along mentally if you like. But what I like about the group is that people are sharing kindness messages into that group. So you get a nice little dose of positive social media posts, which can be few and far between these days. And then we also are sharing what it is that we're doing for that act of kindness. So one, it's a loose accountability partner for the kindness challenge. And two, I just find most of us, I think when you read the cool things that other people are doing for other people, it feels pretty awesome. It feels pretty awesome, right? So it's just another way to fill our cups with positive messaging and positive actions. And I love hearing the things that people are doing. And this is really just intentional, but really casual community building at the end of the day. So I like to plant those seeds in that way. Does that make sense? Krista, what game are you playing? I've been playing chess a lot on the app. Ooh, that's a thinker. My game has no thinking at all required. I don't even know what it's called. Here, I'll open it for you. Hang on. It's called Bubble Pop. And you're really just shooting bubbles at other bubbles to pop them. It is the most mindless activity of all time. So I don't know. I don't even like admitting it. Mike says that easy. I'm at 32 already. Oh, really? Look at you go. Good morning, Scots. Welcome back. We haven't had you hang out with us live for a while. So it's nice to see you. Shannon's here. Shan, how are you? Are you heartbroken over the Heartland news? I don't want to give any spoilers, but I mean, honestly, social media has been full of them regardless, is that Graham Wardle, who plays the character Ty, left the show. So speaking of mourning earlier, we're all in a little state of mourning of that if you're a big Heartland fan, right? That's where that's at. What else is on your mind on this Saturday morning? I shared on my Instagram last night. I was pretty excited to share. I don't know, depending on how versed you are in the world of Canadian country music, but do you remember a Canadian artist that had a big run by the name of Patricia Conroy? Anybody here remember Patricia Conroy? So Patricia is now living in Nashville and focuses most of her talents and time into the songwriting world. And she has been writing songs like crazy and co-writing songs like crazy. And she just recently wrote a great song. I'm going to look it up because I don't remember the title of it now that I'm saying it out loud to you. Champagne Night. She co-wrote it. It was recorded by Lady A, and it just went to #1 in the US. So a big shout out to my girl, Patricia, for getting a #1 song. For writers, this is the Super Bowl. This is the pinnacle. All you dream about as a songwriter is your opportunity to get it cut by a big artist and have it to go #1. So just a really cool Canadian tie into an American song and a #1 for one of our own. And Patricia to this day continues to be one of the most kind, loving, humble, amazing women. If you were to run into her on the street, you could say hello, hug, do a selfie, give her a high five. Like she is amazing. So we're going to have to connect with her. Maybe we'll have her come on and be a fun Friday guest and talk about what it felt like to get that. They showed up at, it is a beautiful song, Shannon says. Yeah, they showed up with a big banner on her lawn, and yeah, an unfortunate. I mean, the sad part, I think, is when you would normally pre-COVID, and maybe in the States it's different. Shannon, you might be able to speak to that because I've had a few people from there saying things, you're doing it a heck of a lot differently down there than we are up here. But normally when you would get a #1 song like that, you would have a pretty fun party to celebrate. And that's kind of hard to do during COVID. So I feel sad for her. But hey, still a #1 at the end of the day. That's kind of been exciting. What else is going on in your world? I saw that there was so I've got lots of family in the community of Creston, British Columbia, and I follow a lot of things that happen in that community and work with a great company out of that community with my company. We partner together to do some work, and there's a store in Creston called Paul's Superette. It's like a little grocery store slash convenience slash you can buy like farmers market items in it. Cute store. Check it out if you're ever in the area. And they also sell lottery tickets. And they had one of their local people in Creston say yes to the extra and win $500,000 last week. That's fantastic. I think that's really cool. So congratulations. I believe his name is Andre or something like that. Pardon my ignorance on it, but yeah. That's kind of exciting news. I've never won the lottery. I don't think I've even really won much on a scratch ticket before. I don't buy lottery tickets, so that would definitely hinder that opportunity. But I also don't buy a lot of scratch tickets. But people have won. I don't know. Has anybody on here ever won any sort of amount that was worth a bit of a happy dance? Honestly, winning $2 would feel good. Just buy another one. It's like playing for free. But curious. If you or someone you know personally has won big on the lottery before. That's kind of fun. I was just kind of scrolling through my brain. What else did I read this week that was kind of interesting? What about you? I mean, there's lots of conversation going on. If you're in Alberta, you have probably seen, and if you haven't, I would invite you to get educated on the Alberta open coal mine scenario that is happening and the open pit coal mining that could happen throughout the foothills and the dramatic effects that it could have on our mountains, on our rivers, on our environments. I am not well versed in the subject. I am just getting myself up to speed on it, but I did share a link to a group on my Facebook page, as well as a video that has been recorded. Corb Lund has stepped in to talk a lot about this. Paul Brandt has also stepped on to have conversation about it. So has Amber Marshall. And so it's nice to get, I think the celebrity endorsement for those of us that are concerned about it isn't really about having celebrities on. It's about the power behind how many people they can reach. That's really important. So interesting. If you'd like to check that out, there is a bunch of information. Get yourself educated on it if you're in Alberta, because it's one of those things, those interesting things that happen in the background when we're all focused so heavily on COVID. What else is going on, right? We have to have those moments where we check in with the rest of the world. And maybe that's something that we could do collectively in Coffee Club is share things like that matter to us, that we want to make sure we get out to other people. Be sure to educate yourself, because, and I think the biggest piece is just how it's going to affect our water, right? And water is a resource that we in Canada 100%, and I think this probably happens in the United States also, but North America, we could say water is a resource that we 100% take for granted. And if you have ever visited another country or a place where water isn't as readily available, especially clean drinking water, it really, really opens your eyes to that. And so when we have the opportunity to protect something as incredibly important as water, we have to stand together on that, my friends. We have to work together to figure out some solutions on that, because I have had the privilege of being with families in other countries where fresh drinking water is unheard of. Okay. And they're walking it for miles and they're boiling it, and they're just drinking water that is polluted. And the fact that that still happens in our world sometimes baffles me to no end, but that could be a whole other coffee chat. But you guys, we take water for granted. And I remember coming back after I went on a mission to Nicaragua, and I remember coming back and having a bath and crying in the bathtub because it felt so frivolous for me to fill a giant tub with this beautiful clean water and sit in it and bathe. I mean, don't get me wrong, personal hygiene important, but you have those moments where unless you've experienced how precious our water is, you maybe don't understand. So anyway, there's that. So give yourself an opportunity to learn a little bit more about that at some point, because it's really important. Kathy says that she has an uncle that won with 6 other teachers, and his share was $1.5 million, and he still went back to work. You know, I probably would too. $1.5 million at the end of the day is not a huge amount of money anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would take it in a heartbeat, dear universe. But $1.5 million, you'd be comfortable. I think I would want to do something. I would get, again, with the boredom. I don't know. Yeah. There's my thoughts on that. Okay. We shared, we visited. I had a soapbox moment. It's a typical Saturday around here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you're catching this video towards the end or not live later, please still join the conversation. Share what's on your mind. Share what's happening in your world. Give just a hello, whatever you'd like to do. If you know a lottery winner, if there's something that's kind of burning in your heart and your mind, share that in the comments and join that conversation. And we will be back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time for Super Soul Sunday together, my friends. Cheers to you. Have an incredible rest of your Saturday.